Hey, it's Leopard, and this is my Destiny gaming setup video. Right now we're in the man cave, or as we like to call, the man cliff, since we're up on a loft. This place has a bunch of games, books, DVDs, Destiny paraphernalia, other gaming accessories like this VR necklace. You notice there's no electronics up here. For that, we must go downstairs. There she is in all her glory. We're going to talk about the table, the internet connectivity, HDMI, audio, lighting, green screens, everything. Alright, so the first thing you notice is the table. I had it custom made, 7.5 foot long. It's high enough to get my knees under when I game. I placed it right in front of this windowsill here to help hide more of the wires. Notice it's big enough for 4 23-inch monitors, each with its own little cubby hole to fit gaming accessories or console or whatever. There's these blue case fans which help keep it cool and provide a nice ambiance while gaming. It's only 1.5 foot deep, so it doesn't take up much space, which is important since it's in the living room. Alright, so next let's talk about internet connectivity. You know, I got this old Ethernet switch, which you can't see because it's covered up by a spider web of wires, which is connected to my NetGear wireless router WNDR 3700, which connects to my Surfboard SB6121 cable modem. I have a 105 megabit down, 20 up advertised connection, which I speed test pretty close to. Alright, now let's talk about HDMI. Each console has an HDMI cord that connects to their own HDMI splitters right here. That's mine, which connects one HDMI cord to my monitor, and another one goes back through this craziness over to my computer, into a card right there, which we'll talk more about later. The wife's console plugs into that splitter, which one cord goes out to her monitor, but the other cord comes over here to this HDMI switch. And its purpose is to take in multiple inputs and output one output. That one output comes all the way over here to my second capture card. Another one of the inputs into this switch comes from my Nikon D800 DSLR. This is a full frame DSLR camera that can output a clean 1080p live HDMI signal. I have 2 lenses for it. One is a 28 to 300 millimeter lens, and another one's a 50 millimeter prime lens with a max aperture of 1.8. Prime lenses, which can't zoom in and out, have the awesome quality of having a really high max aperture, which allows for more light to be collected, which allows for great video quality in low light. I also have this 50-foot HDMI cord in case I ever want to set the D800 up at a distance, like up in the man cliff. Alright, third, audio, my favorite. I use a pair of Astro A50s wireless headphones. The wife uses A40s, hand-me-downs. Both have mix amps, which connects them to different audio devices like your console. Here's my A50 mix amp. They're both connected to the consoles using digital optical cable. So normal people would just use the headsets to communicate to players on their console, but if you're playing on the PS4 and you're using a headset mic, the voices of the players in your party do not come through HDMI. So in order to record the voices of other members in your PS party, you have to use an USB mic, and I use this Technica AT2020. It's a condenser mic, which picks up everything. Okay, so next we have a Sennheiser MKH416 shotgun mic. A shotgun mic is more sensitive to sounds directly in front of it, which means it'll pick up less background noise if it's positioned correctly. This has an XLR cable coming out the back that connects to an ART Tube Compressor. What is a tube compressor, you ask? I'll tell you. It's a device that lets me improve my audio quality by keeping the levels or loudness more consistent. You can see the lights going up and down there. The one in the middle here is the compressor. Once I talk too loud, it quietens the voice down, which I'm not using that right now, so the audio really sucks. So it's connected with a patch cable back here to this Focusrite Scarlett USB audio interface. This is what turns the analog signals into digital and transfers them to my computer through USB. The computer's audio out plug has a splitter plugged into it with one cable running to my speakers and one running down to my mix amp aux import. So that lets me hear my computer's audio in my headphones like music, Skype, or TeamSpeak. Notice also that the mix amp has a splitter plugged into it, and it has another input which comes from the ART Tube Compressor's mic monitor. This lets me hear my own voice in my headphones so I don't end up yelling because I can't hear my own voice. Alright, so fourth, my computer hardware and software. The two capture cards I mentioned are AverMedia C985s. They are capable of recording 30 frames a second at 1080p or 720 at 60 frames. I have two webcams. This Logitech C920, capable of recording 1080p, and this Microsoft LiveCam. I use Premiere to edit video, XSplit to broadcast live streams, Adobe Audition to modulate my voice live with an equalizer, de-esser, and a noise gate, which is then outputted to a virtual cable. My computer has 32 gigs of RAM, 256 gigabyte solid state drive with really high read-write speeds, a 500 gig drive, a 4 terabyte drive, and an i7 3930K Hexa-Core 3.2 gigahertz processor, which I've overclocked to 4.6, which enables me to stream 1080p at around 2500 kilobytes and record losslessly for video creation and instant replays while streaming. Lastly, let's talk about lighting and green screens. Here's your standard 4-foot fluorescent bulb. It's got a fixture on the back which lets me hook onto these screws I've put behind the wall. Also, you can see this ginormous compact fluorescent light. It outputs over 7,000 lumens at 5,000K. And here's another one with a lighting reflection umbrella behind it. It helps soften the light, which is important whenever you're dealing with green screens, because softer lights are easier to key out. Speaking of green screens, here's my 10 by 20 foot green screen Muslin. Has these eyelets here which let me hook onto the wall, these hooks I've placed on either side. And here is my 7 by 5 foot collapsible green screen. It expands